fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. My name is Geoff Peters, and I've been in Toastmaster for quite a few years. I've also been studying personal productivity as a hobby, and I really wanted to share an interesting topic today about the natural planning process. So, let's get into it. Today's talk, I will first talk about why is it a good idea to do some planning? What should you plan? And then I'll talk about the 5 steps of the natural planning process, which are this acronym DOBOI. Doughboy? Defining purpose and principles, outcome visioning, brainstorming, organizing, and then identifying next actions. So my theory is that you can use these 5 steps to plan anything in your life, no matter how big or how small. If you're planning your wedding, might be one of the biggest things you ever have to plan. It's a huge amount of things to plan. You can follow the same process for planning an evening out with a friend to have dinner. And I'll finally leave you off with a few resources that you can work on later. So first of all, why should we plan? If you've ever gone on a vacation and realized, oh, you forgot your wallet, you forgot your toothbrush, let's say you went to a show and you left the tickets at home, usually planning results in some kind of unexpected failure. If you don't plan, something bad might happen. So by planning, you reduce the chance of something going wrong because you've thought about all the different things that might be involved. So doing planning, it's very important to avoid the last minute oh no's that I put up here, and you'll have everything go a lot smoother. And if you're planning, for example, a work project, doing more thinking up front about the project will result in better estimates and less unexpected things going wrong near the end when you realize, oh, I didn't realize this whole other use case or this whole other workflow I didn't even consider. So this is why planning can be useful both for personal life and also for work. Here's a quote that I like very much. People say, I'm just not a lucky person, or I don't have good opportunities. But if you have a good plan, the wind and waves will be on the side of the greatest navigators. So by having a good plan, you can even create more luck and good fortune in your life because you'll be more prepared to seize those opportunities that come along. What can you plan? As I was saying, you can plan anything. For me, planning moving to a new apartment was a huge endeavor. Packing, figuring out the real estate business, what to do with all these documents, all those things, it's very important to do good planning. And even a dinner out with a friend, my friends are very busy, and if I try to make a last minute plan with them, generally they say, oh, sorry, I'm busy. So I have to do planning several weeks in advance to go out for dinner with my best friends. So I definitely do a lot of planning, even for simple personal things, even planning going to the gym. I think about it a few days in advance. What day am I going to go to the gym? Do I need to pack my gym clothes in my backpack? And that day I know I set my alarm to go down so I don't miss the opportunity to care for my own body. Now to the meat of the presentation, the natural planning process. As I mentioned, there's 5 distinct steps. These steps were invented by David Allen, who is a personal productivity guru who wrote the book called Getting Things Done. And I'd really recommend this book for a whole methodology about personal planning and productivity for your task management. And as I mentioned, there's 5 principles which I'll be going through here. The first one is to define your purpose and principle. If I'm going out for dinner, my purpose would be to improve my relationship and have a better friendship with one of my best friends. And my principles might be, what kind of restaurant do you prefer? Do you want one that's really upscale and expensive, that you can impress everyone who sees your Instagram photos? Or is it a place that serves really good food at a cheap price? For me, I really like the value for your money. I want to get something good, but I also want it to be not too expensive. So those are my principles, and the purpose would be, yes, I want to develop my friendship with my good friend and maybe talk about some interesting hobbies that we do. So that's the first step. Secondly, outcome visioning. Now this is where you can imagine a good possible outcome for your project. In my case, I can imagine myself sitting in a waterfront bistro with my friend, eating some thin crust pizza and sipping soda water, and there's a beautiful view. So I've imagined this in my mind. Now, how can I make this a reality? Brainstorming is where you let your mind wander and think about all the possible things that might be useful to think about for your plan. If we're going for dinner, I'm like, well, can my friend actually go? Is he interested in going? Maybe what dates is he available? Where should we go? Maybe here's some ideas for what restaurants. I've been to this place before, I'd really like to go back there, but what about the place in Commercial Drive? So all the ideas. Just take everything and write it down and organize those ideas later. The next step is, once you've got all the ideas there, try to find patterns. Maybe a list of 5 places you want to go to, or what are all the things I need to do, and put them in order, group them into logical categories. And finally, once you've got it all organized, you can identify your next actions. So these are a sequence of actions. Like any project, there's the first action you can do right away. There's some that are depending on that one to do later. So you can find a sequence of things, and the most important thing is figure out what you can do right now that you're not blocked by anything that you can do right away. So that's your next action. In this example, the first thing I can do is email my friend. Hey, do you want to go for dinner next Saturday? And once he's confirmed, then I might make a reservation. I might make another note to remind him closer to the date. If he's doing well, not feeling sick, we can still make the plan. So what was once an idea, a vision of having this beautiful dinner, becomes something delicious. The resources I mentioned, the Getting Things Done book, which I'll refer back to many times, it's a wealth of information, not just about planning, but also how to organize your whole life and reduce your stress. It's called Getting Things Done. Look for this cover. It's the older edition, which I think is actually better. So thanks very much.